I've heard this story hundreds of times. She finds out that he's sleeping with a coworker, or that he hooked up with an old friend of his, or maybe it's just sex to him, or maybe there's a stronger emotional bond, or maybe he even separates and wants a divorce to leave with another woman. So I share with them some of the deeper motives of why men cheat. And all of a sudden, like a light bulb flashes on, and they're like, oh my gosh, I see all of the red flags. I realize now that it shouldn't have been a surprise. And that's what I want to talk about in today's video. I want to go through 3 of the major reasons why men will cheat, so you're aware and you can avoid it earlier on and identify these cheaters before the act actually ever happens. So I'm Jason Silver. I am the dating coach for ambitious women, meaning women that have a strong drive to succeed and excel and improve in life. Because of the ambition and mastery drive in my clients, they are looking and end up connecting with men who are also passionate and driven and successful. And that actually leads me to one of the first major reasons that men cheat. It's that they are incapable of dealing with pain or discomfort. And this is what I mean. Life is difficult. There's challenges that come up. I don't care how successful, I don't care how driven. We don't live in a 100% secure world. Here's our expectations, and inevitably, life is going to fall underneath our expectations at some time, whether it's illness or a death or you don't get what you want, whatever it is. We're not taught how to deal with life. We're not taught how to address the challenges. Different people have different levels of sensitivities and also different abilities to cope with these things. So there's some people who have learned healthy methods of coping. Maybe they have a strong social circle that they learn to lean on. Maybe they journal or go to a therapist or do yoga, meditation, exercise. They seek ways to vent and release their sadness, their fear, their frustration, their anger. And then there's other people who haven't really learned these methods. So instead of looking for healthier ways, they may drink alcohol or smoke or do drugs, or look for thrill-seeking activities. We all do this in some way, shape, or form, but there's some people who are extreme feel-gooders. Those types of men that might not be able to deal with the middle, not being high, not being down, but just being here, it might be considered a little boring, maybe a little peaceful, a little balanced. And there's some red flags that you could look out for. Maybe they turn to these negative, unhealthy coping mechanisms. Maybe they have a really short temper. You could just tell that they are distraught and can't handle that pain and don't know any other way to deal with it. Those types of men typically end up with some form of self-destructive activity. And it could be drinking, drugs, or sex. These are all primal avoidance activities. We all have primal instinctual drives as humans. We want sex. We want security. We want relationships and connections with other people. And these people of extremes can take them to the next level, and they can do it even if it's really harmful to themselves or to the people around them. So you see this every day with addicts. I mean, they are doing drugs and they're literally killing themselves because they need to avoid that feeling of pain, and they're constantly seeking that feeling good, that higher high. And so these are people you got to watch out for, and there's many high-functioning people out there that have this level of roller coaster life. And I say roller coaster because they're always seeking for the highest passion. They're always seeking the highest feeling of passion, of love, of excitement, of feeling great. And when things, maybe they're not even that bad, right? Maybe they're just boring or stable. They can't deal with it. They have to be doing something. There has to be something exciting on the horizon. So that's a red flag. It's something to watch out for. This is a reason why men cheat. They're looking to avoid or deal with some pain or discomfort, and they don't have any healthy way of dealing with it, and they turn to sex, and they end up hurting themselves and the people around them that they really love. And listen, I'm not excusing their behavior. This is really important. I'm not trying to give them a pass and say, it's okay, they just didn't have the tools to deal with pain. No, it's not okay. These people really are hurting people. These people are destroying lives, they're destroying families, they're extremely hurtful, harmful people. And I'm telling you about these things so you can avoid getting into a relationship with them or be aware of someone that you're in a relationship with that's displaying these types of traits. I actually go way more in-depth into how you can attract a real high-quality man. There's a link in the description just below this video, so click it and you can get access right now. It's absolutely free. Now, the second reason why a man would cheat is because he never shared the same relationship goals as you. So you might have this idea in your mind of what that lifelong committed partnership means, and potentially he never shared those same dreams with you. And he may have even told you he does. So how do you really know? I mean, if you have this vision in your mind of a monogamous, committed, lifelong partnership where you're there to support one another and wake up in the morning and talk to each other about your days and come home after work and just know that there's someone there that really cares about you, and you are just completely loyal and committed to this person and you expect the same in return. And in his mind, maybe his motives for being in a relationship were not about contribution. Maybe he's super self-centered. Maybe it was for him more about, well, he just wants some security. He wants some level of dependence, someone to rely on, but he's self-centered. Or maybe he never really wanted that marriage or that lifelong relationship. Maybe he feels bad because he does really like you, but he just kind of never really wanted that, but he felt too guilty or afraid. Maybe he's a coward. Men can be flat out cowards and afraid to tell you what they actually want and what they actually think. So they avoid the topic completely. And from you, they might feel pressure or a strong desire, and they might not want to upset you. Maybe they're just people pleasers who want to completely avoid contact, and this is their path of least resistance. So what happens? They feel the pressure or the urgency or the desire from you to get married or to be committed, and so they say fine. But in the back of their mind, they don't really want that, and they're not willing to be honest with you. So it's something to look out for. Do you understand the motives behind your partner's desires? Do you know what he's really looking for out of life and why he wants those things? That's really important. Is he able to tell you things and be vulnerable and tell you things that might upset you just to be authentic and honest and connected? Because if you don't have that open, honest communication with one another, or maybe you're afraid to bring things up with him because you don't want to upset him, well, that's a big red flag that maybe your communication isn't really as intimate and as open as it should be. And the third reason why men cheat is that they don't value or respect you. Bottom line, period. They don't really treat you with the value and respect that you deserve. And I hate to say this, but we train people how to treat us. And there's a possibility that we didn't hold up the red velvet rope and say, no, this is not okay. I need to be treated this way or it's not going to work out. It's not about criticizing, condemning them. It's about letting people know how to treat you. It happens with my wife. I have the tendency to be sarcastic, and I think it's funny, and often it's not funny. The root of sarcasm is sark, which literally means tearing into the flesh of. And if I'm sarcastic in a not nice way, my wife will say, hey, that's not nice. She won't sit there and laugh it off or ignore it. She'll say, no, that's not nice. I don't like that. And for me, she's not jumping on my back and yelling at me and calling me a bad person. She's letting me know how she feels. And it's such a great reminder when she does that. I'm so inspired by her because she's such a soft, kind of sweet woman who you wouldn't think would stand up for herself. You think, oh, she's so passive. She's a people pleaser. Kathy is not like that. She stands up for herself. She has a strong backbone. If you cross a boundary with her, she'll let you know that she doesn't like it. And I appreciate that so much because it reminds me, wow, I'm dealing with someone that I need to love and respect. I can't take this person for granted. How often do I wake up in the morning and take my life for granted? Take for granted the fact that I can get up and walk, I can see, I can use my five senses, that I have a home and all of these wonderful gifts and blessings, including a loving wife. We get so accustomed to things over the years that we take them for granted. And if you're in a relationship and you don't set up that red velvet rope and remind someone that I need to be treated with love and respect and value, then people tend to lower how they value someone. They tend to not only take them for granted, but they also end up lowering how much they value or respect someone. When they completely lose respect or don't value someone in the same way, they're more willing to pursue a self-centered desire in order to get what they want, because they don't truly value the relationship, your feelings, and the potential harm that could have on the family. So the bottom line, I don't care what a man ever says to you, ever. I don't care what anyone says to you. Watch what he does. Watch his actions. Watch how he treats you. Watch what he prioritizes in his life. Does he prioritize you and your relationship and quality time, or is he taking you for granted? These are three things that you really, really need to think about. These are three deeper reasons of why men cheat that are really, really important to be aware of them. And I go through trainings like this every single week where I reveal more about the male mind, what men are thinking. And I'd love to have you as a subscriber if you're someone who doesn't hate men and wants to actually learn how to improve in relationships and understand your partner or men more so you can attract a truly high-quality loving mate. Please subscribe, comment below, let me know any questions you have or any experiences that you've gone through. Love to communicate with you, and I do appreciate you watching and liking if you found any value in this video. I look forward to seeing you next week. Take care.